what's going on, y'all? This is JVS SEL0320 representing. I am here to give y'all a spoiler-filled review and reaction / whatever for the Vampire Diaries 15th episode, 7th season, I Would For You. Oh my gosh, can I just talk about this Damon moment, alright? So, the whole situation that happened with Damon trying to save his brother, trying to kill Rayna, you know, every single time, you know, and I guess in this episode I really didn't like Enzo because he just seemed so envious of Damon and Bonnie. When basically you find out that no matter how many times that Damon kills this thing, this woman, that the totems were the original people that stabbed themselves for her life, and eventually they're kind of desiccating, they're going and dying fully, you know. And he got to that one moment, and then thankfully Bonnie called him and let him know, because she was the one that kind of said, look, go ahead and take him out, because he's trying to take care of his brother before he just leaves everybody. He blames himself for getting Stephanie in the situation, which is understandable. But it was like Bonnie was like, she bent over backwards for this man, and he told her to stay out of it. She couldn't, because eventually he was trying to, you know, find ways of like getting Rayna to move to another perspective on things, in trying to just kill her brother or any kind of vampires. Like, what was her reason behind it? Which I thought that was actually really interesting part of this. But I had to talk about this stuff to get to the point where Damon finally is able to get Rayna, you know, away, and the group goes and captures her, which is really, it was pretty shocking. And yet he's still gonna leave his brother. And I thought that was, shoot, the scene with him and Stefan. And Stefan's like, after everything that I've done, you're gonna turn your back on me. And I mean, this is true. He did it. He actually went and literally did it for 3 years. I mean, even longer than that, technically. Thankfully, Stefan got him out. But anyway, before he's about to close himself in New York, Bonnie meets him there, right? And I think this might have been the heart and the most heartbreaking thing about this episode is the fact that Stefan has said before he left, like, if you leave here, if you hear anything about me, don't go. You know, he left anyway. But even for Bonnie, like, she was like, you wanted to imagine whatever reaction you wanted, but I'm going to show you a reaction, basically. This girl, she starts to rust down in tears, dude. Like, I mean, like, she said, this hurts. Like, it wasn't just like, you know, like, how dare you, or slap. She doesn't even touch him. She just is like emoting in front of him. And she's like, you are seriously hurting me right now. And then she was like, basically, as your body is just desiccating, as you're dying, you're just sitting there, leave that in your memory. And I was like, dang. Like, it was so messed up, because you know that he cares. You know he wants to, you know, protect her ultimately. But it's like, he feels in his absence that everything will be better. And it's like, it's debatable, because obviously, shoot, how she got institutionalized, I still don't understand. I can see if she starts to go into depression. I guess the thing that she was talking about, a friend of hers getting in trouble because of her, I guess that was Elena, it wasn't Damon. And then even with like Damon kind of being there, and then Stefan kind of ended up with the heretic, I can understand that part, because, you know, Stefan doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have Alexi. Damon killed her. He doesn't have an Elena. He doesn't have even like his girlfriend Caroline anymore, because she's got babies. And she's going being the fiance of the person that he considered a friend, which is so messed up. I can't believe Alark allowed that. To me, personally, that's just me. Anyway, but all in all, like, that whole Damon moment, it was so heartfelt and so energy driven. Like, their chemistry is awesome. Like, you can literally see partial tears almost about to hit Damon before he kind of just closed the coffin on it, quote unquote. And she just leaves him. He couldn't even explain himself. He couldn't apologize. She said, you don't get to do that. And I was like, dang. And what made it so bad is that Enzo kind of rubbed salt into the whole thing. Enzo just seems like he's salty. It's like, he basically kind of alluded that Damon doesn't care anything about it, but obviously he does. Now, I do think that Damon should have left her a card. I think that was kind of foul. But all in all, man, like, I think that was the moment of this episode I was really waiting for, because I knew it was going to end up with them two. I knew that they were going to have some kind of anticlimactic thing. The thing that bugs me about this episode, that didn't make sense about this episode, is after the 3 years, and you know they get out, you know they're making this plan to try to save Caroline, and you know they both get captured. You know, I'm like, what is going to happen now? Come to find out, Rayna's like, okay, yeah, I'm about to kill you. I was like, why haven't you killed this man yet? You know? And then come to find out, she's like, yeah, there's a plan B. And I'm like, what is she talking about? Plan B is you let the mark get pushed over to Damon. Like, ninja, what? And then, well, maybe I was worse. Like, Damon, which is on, like, wolf venom in his body, dying, basically. It's like, oh, it was my plan. Like, what? What are they talking about? Like, I don't know what... I don't know what the writers are thinking about with that one. I'm gonna have to wait until the next episode. I couldn't talk about this in the non-spoiler. Y'all probably saw my reaction for it, but it just doesn't make logical sense. Like, I don't understand. I do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he could do technically, get the mark transferred, kill her, he dies, she dies, Elena lives eventually in 60 years, everybody misses Damon, and Stefan gets to live. That's the ultimate sacrifice. I can understand that. But it seemed so out of place. Like, for him to even say, oh, it was my idea. You know, I was like, what was that? That was the only fault that I had about this episode. I thought that everything else was pretty legit. Some things didn't work in continuity as far as I was concerned, as far as Enzo and Bonnie ending up together. It doesn't add up, you know, other than her being depressed and down and without and absent. And Enzo, basically, from what I'm understanding with this group, they want to use Bonnie. So there's no telling what happened. But I guess I'm going to have to wait for another episode. Hopefully this is just as good as this one. But I got to wait till April the 1st, which sucks. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this first spoiler review for the 15th episode. I Would For You. I gave it a 9 I gave it 9 out of 10. Alright, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. I'm about to look at The Boy and the Beast. Peace.